everybody, how's it going? So I'm here in the back of my truck in northeast Oregon in the Blue Mountain Range, and it's cold out. It is cold out. It's so cold out up here in the mountain. That's how I know it's time to get gathering these elderberries. And so I'm up here gathering the elderberries. Now these are blue elderberries. You're probably familiar with black elderberries. Either will do. I actually prefer the blue elderberries because they're a bit sweeter. They're not really bitter. You don't need to be adding a bunch of honey and stuff to be able to stomach a tincture or an elixir or whatever you're going to make with her, including jelly. She makes the best jellies. Can't really do a jam with her because you don't want to be eating the seeds of the elderberry. So you guys all probably know that elderberry is great for like colds and flus and stuff, but did you also know that she's a powerful anti-inflammatory? She's great for breast health. She's great for arthritis. There's a million and one things that elderberry is great for. Now the only people who should probably stay away from elderberry is anybody who has an autoimmune issue, because you don't want to be like stimulating your immune system if it's already attacking you. So people with rheumatoid arthritis, you might want to stay away from her a bit. Now I like to use elderberry as a preventative for the flu, and then like if I got the flu, I would use her right in the very beginning. But if I had a really bad case of the flu already and I was like 2-3 days in, I probably wouldn't use elderberry, because did you know that like no one really dies from the flu? You're like, whoa, thousands of people die every year from the flu. You're actually dying from complications of the flu, and those complications are usually your own immune system overreacting. Like when you have a bad fever and all that kind of stuff, that's from your own immune system. So the last thing you want to do is give your immune system that's already like super out of control and attacking this virus more power, right? So I like to use elderberry in the very beginning and or before getting sick. So now is the time to get out there and start gathering these little berries. Now I like to wait until it's cold. I've seen people gathering for weeks and weeks already now, but I like to wait when it gets nice and cold, because that tells this tree here, this tells our friend that winter is coming, her time to send her nutrition and everything to her little children here. Because think about it this way, every little berry is like a womb, and that berry is meant to nourish the seed inside to make another tree. So the more nutrition that this berry has, the better of a chance that seed has for survival. And if we come in here when it's really nice and still kind of warm out and they're just now starting to ripen on us, it's not really, they're not bad for you. There's nothing wrong if you've already harvested your elderberries. But next year, or if you haven't gone in and harvested yet, wait until it gets nice and cold, because then this tree, this mother plant, she's going to put all of her nutrition into those berries. And so generally, when people think of elderberries, you just think of cold and flu and maybe some of the other stuff I said, and they think that's the only part of her that's usable. But when I gather berries, you notice that I have all these leaves on here still, and that's because her leaves are amazing for making a bruise salve. So when I get home and I process these berries, I'll trim off her stem, I'll trim off her leaf, and then I'll take the leaf and I'll put them in my curing cabinet. You can check out my video on curing versus drying herbs. It's so much better. And then I'll make an oil infusion with that. And if I've got, if I'm prone to bruises, or even like, look at these dark rings under my eyes, it'd be a million times worse if it wasn't for elderberry. She's just a fantastically giving lady. Now some people are like, elderberry's poisonous. Elderberry's poisonous. I'm scared. Well, she does have some problematic glycosides. I never say that word right. I think I might have. Whatever. But the problem is, you have to be eating these raw berries like constantly. You'd have to be eating these leaves constantly, and then those glycosides would have to build up in your body long enough. But the thing is, you pass them. So like you'd have to be really working hard. Like if you ate some of these berries raw today, in a couple days it's not going to be in your body, so it can't really build up. But if you're eating it consistently and long enough that it can build up, then you have problems. But here's the cool thing. These glycosides go away when you cook the berries. And cooking doesn't just mean if you're making a jam. Cooking also includes tincturing. Cooking includes like curing or drying, making a tea, anything like that. So generally, you don't want to have the stem in what you're working with. I mean, just because it does take away that thing, you don't want to be like, well, I can just cook me some elderberry leaf and eat it. Please don't do that. But you can just pop these in the freezer and check out my how to harvest elderberry berries quickly after you watch this one if you haven't, because it'll save you. You could sit here for hours and pluck off little berries at a time, or you could pop them in the freezer for 24 to 48 hours and then do this when they come out, and all those berries will fall right off the stem. It's so much easier. And the cool thing, and I'm just jabbering here, the cool thing about when you freeze your berries, so did you know that when you freeze something, think about when you like stuck a jar or a pop or something in glass in the freezer and you forgot about it, or even a can of soda and it swells up and it explodes, right? Well, that's because when water freezes, it expands. And when you want to make a tincture or a tea or anything like that, the best way to get the medicinal property out of a plant is to break down the cellular structure, which is what holds all the nutrition and the medicinal properties and all that stuff. So what happens to these berries that are full of water when you freeze them? They expand and they break, but that water is inside of the cells, so you're breaking down the cellular structure of your berries that way. I prefer to freeze my berries, not just because it gets it off of there easier, but also if I'm making a tincture, I know when I'm starting the tincturing process that the cellular structure of my berries have already been broken open. It's already been busted open. So when you make a berry out of frozen tinctures, up to, in 6 to 8 weeks when you're ready to strain it out, your elderberry tincture will be more potent than if you just used fresh unfrozen berries. So that's, some cool stuff about elderberry. Now, you can get out here and find these berries. Sometimes birds get to them, and I've noticed that I don't really come across elderberry trees that have been struck by birds all that much, and that's because we live in a really big, still pretty healthy area. But if you're in an area and you're noticing that no matter where you go, the elderberries have been eaten to completion by all the birds from around you, that's a pretty good indicator that they don't have other food sources. So at that point in time, it might be more ethical for you to either grow your own elderberry trees and put nets over them so the birds can't get to them, or find somebody else who can ethically source them for you, find a tincture from them, what have you. But they like to be out in big fields like this. They also like to be by rivers. They like anywhere that the soil's getting a good amount of water, but I mean not quite like swampy, but they just like that water. And really, about the only elderberry tree that I would caution anybody working with is the red elderberry. She's still medicinal. You can still use her. She's got way higher glycoside levels, higher. So I mean, if you can find anything besides red, that would be ideal. But I want you to know something. I want you to know that you are smart enough to get out here and find these trees. You are smart enough to make a tincture. You are smart enough to dry these berries and make tea for yourself. You just have to trust your curiosity, get out here, get curious, and start looking for the plants that are around you. And you don't need to pay somebody thousands of dollars to teach you how to do it. Teach yourself. You are smart enough. So if you like to hear me jabber, if you like my impromptu videos and saying words wrong and generally just being human, take a second to subscribe, turn on notifications, like, comment, share. All that stuff lets me know that you're here with me. It helps get the message out that everybody else is smart enough to do this too, and I'm really grateful for it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.